Howdy folks, and welcome back to, well, I suppose technically this is a casual Saturday video because it's Saturday, but welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution with the mighty Jingles. I realise it's only been a couple of days since the last video, but, well, we're moving on to bigger and better things. In the last video we completed Isla Muerte with 5 stars and all of the unlocks, and now we're moving on to Isla TACAND. Now, I have to confess, and I'm sure nobody's going to be particularly surprised, that I did get a little bit confused in the last video when I said that Isla TACAND has some seriously nasty storms. That's actually the island after this one, Isla Peña. Here on Isla TACAND you have an entirely different set of problems, and to begin with at least, they're mostly financial.
There was another island near here where an amusement park was built over the bones of an abandoned one. Spared no expense, as Hammond would say, a biological preserve. Yeah, you may have heard about it. At least the stuff that wasn't classified.
Wow, check out all of those fancy new buildings that I didn't have access to before.
One of your predecessors was in charge of this island. It didn't go very well for them. But here's your opportunity to succeed where they failed. You'll need to carefully consider how to make money if you want to turn this into a profitable endeavor. And you do. Trust me.
Yeah, I knew there was going to be a catch. You see, all of these fancy new buildings aren't actually generating any cash because there are no guests visiting your park, because you have no dinosaurs. You don't even have a complete dinosaur enclosure. And you also start off this island almost $1 million in debt. So you're losing around about $50,000 to $80,000 per minute, and you already owe the bank over $900,000. So all of those fancy new buildings that you haven't actually managed to unlock in the main game yet, the fancy entertainment division visitor center, the bar, the restaurant, you have to demolish them, because it's the only way to make any money and not fail this island right at the start. A chronic lack of cash is going to be your biggest problem on this island for a long time. I don't want to say this is the most boring of the islands, but it's definitely the slowest of the islands. It's not the most boring, because, well, there's a certain dinosaur that you get access to for the first time here in Isla TACAND. I don't want to spoil it for you just yet, but, well, you can probably guess. If you ever want to see it, however, you're going to have to get some money coming in. Even with all the demolition work that I've done, I'm still losing around about $15,000 a minute. So if I want to see any of that big fat American dollar, I'm going to have to get some guests in the park. And for that, we're going to need some dinosaurs. And for that, we're going to need a complete dinosaur enclosure. You do at least have a Hammond Creation Lab, and you do have a viewing enclosure, although it's unpowered at the moment. First things first though, let's get the fence built. Right. You're going to be spending a lot of time in this area of the park and not in this area of the park, at least not for the foreseeable future, because you're just not going to be able to afford it. But you do have a lot of real estate to play with here on this island. For the immediate future, however, we're mostly going to be up here. And at first it's very much a race against the clock. You've got to get some dinosaurs into that enclosure for the viewing public to come and point their fingers at before you run out of money. And in the time it took me to get everything connected up and powered, other than the monorail, but you shouldn't really care about the monorail at this early stage, I've actually managed to lose another $100,000. I'm not entirely sure, but I think at this point I'm losing around about $15,000 a minute. And the best way to fix that is to stick some big expensive dinosaurs down into the brand new herbivore enclosure. The only problem is, expensive dinosaurs are expensive. So that means it's chicken lizard time. Yep, the good old reliable Struthiomimus. $58,000 a pop, which is just about all I can afford. Now, if I had demolished some of the other buildings, I may have been able to afford something like a Triceratops or a Styracosaur. But you can't just put one Triceratops or one Styracosaur into an enclosure. They're social creatures. They get lonely. So, chicken lizards it is. And here it is, chicken lizard number 1. I will call her Susan. Second one is not quite ready for release, but it's only going to be a few more seconds. So, with the release of our first dinosaur, we are now only losing just under $15,000 a minute. Okay, let's release our second Struthiomimus. There she is. I'll call her Mildred. So, while Susan and Mildred are getting to know each other, stretching their legs in this beautiful new herbivore enclosure that I've built for them, let's see how much money we're losing now. Just under $5,000 per minute. Okay. Let's have a look and see what we can actually get from the various different divisions here. Science, we get a genetic modification and a large electrical substation. With entertainment, access to a new dinosaur fossil, reduced research cost and a new building, the arcade. And with security, access to another new dinosaur fossil and a pair of accuracy upgrades.
There is a new job available.
Yeah, we're not accepting that contract. Maintain a facility rating of 5 stars for 3 minutes? This early on in the game? No chance. I've just realised that I've forgotten something fairly important. Can you see what it is? Anyone? Susan here isn't exactly starving to death just yet, but it's only a matter of time. Yeah, I haven't actually put a ground herbivore feeder in the ground herbivore enclosure. I can't actually afford a ground herbivore feeder. They're $150,000. So I'm using the landscaping tool to put some shrubs down in front of the viewing enclosure and hope that will do. But I'm going to have to get one in there soon. Luckily, I am at least no longer losing money. But I'm not making money very quickly. I'm currently running at a profit of around about $23,000 a minute. And this is pretty much going to be the pattern of events for your first few hours here on ISLA TACAND. Identify a problem that needs fixing, and then wait until you have enough money to fix it. Yep, Susan's looking a bit peckish. Well, if she gets really desperate, she could always eat Mabel. What? Herbivores don't eat herbivores. It's all just a question of how hungry you get. Luckily, it didn't actually get that bad. Although Susan was giving Mildred some really funny looks, at around about the point where I finally earned enough money to put a herbivore feeder down in the park. Look, food. Where are you going? Yeah, I know you're hungry. Look. God, these things are idiots. You're going the wrong way, Susan. Where's Mildred? You see? Mildred's the smart one. Susan, why can't you be more like your sister? I don't know, you work your fingers to the bone trying to provide for them and they're nothing but a disappointment to you. Oh, there she goes. Right, fine, okay. So it looks like Susan's going to live. Of course, now we're broke again. So how are you going to get some money coming in if you only have a pair of Struthiomimus for the visitors to poke their fingers at? 2 words. Those 2 words are fossils and contracts. Of course, to make any money out of fossils, you're going to have to build an expedition centre to go and dig the fossils up in the first place, and those things aren't cheap. And you're going to need a fossil centre, and those things aren't cheap either. So initially, at least, you're going to be taking contracts from the Science, Entertainment and Security Division. It's just a question of waiting until the right contract pops up. Oh, hello, Isaac.
I'm bringing this contract to you while it's still hot.
Well, I never thought I'd be pleased to see him. Isaac wants us to acquire 75% of the Styracosaurus genome. Well, I have about 73% of it anyway, so I will go ahead and accept that contract. It's going to get me some much-needed reputation with the entertainment division, and, more importantly, 300,000 big fat American dollars. The problem is that to get that remaining 2 or 3% of the Styracosaur genome, I'm going to have to dig up some Styracosaur fossils, and guess what you need for that? Yeah, a very expensive expedition and fossil centre, but it's a start. Now, you can request fresh contracts every minute, so it shouldn't take too long before you actually get a contract that you're capable of completing. Now, admittedly, this is a bit of a gamble. Let's take a science contract.
You can help with this, and you should.
Use the expedition centre to unearth 2 large herbivore fossils. The reason why I say this is a bit of a gamble is because I'm just biding my time now until I can build an expedition centre and a fossil centre, and then the money will really start to come in. But that means I'm not building things like a ranger unit. So if any of my dinosaurs get sick, they will die, because I won't have any rangers to go in there and medicate them. But, and I must apologise to Susan and Mildred in advance, because this is going to sound quite callous and mercenary, the worst thing that's going to happen is I'm going to lose a pair of Struthiomimus. Sorry Susan and Mildred, but you're just not that valuable. And you're very cheap to replace. Of course, if either of them do die on me, that is going to present me with another problem, because I also haven't built an asset containment unit, which means I can't call in any helicopters to get rid of decaying dinosaurs, dirtying the place up. So, it is a bit of a gamble. Anyway, sometime later, I finally have the $400,000 that I'm going to need to place an expedition centre. Now, with the expedition centre up and running, we're not quite in a position to start making pots of cash just yet, but it is a start. We have all kinds of new dig sites available. These are the ones in yellow, with all kinds of brand new fossils that we haven't exploited yet. The problem is that it costs money to send dig teams out on these expeditions, money that we don't have at the moment. And even if we did have the money available right now to send even one dig team out to one of these new sites, we're still going to need a fossil centre to process the fossils that they bring back from their expeditions, and that's another $400,000 for a fossil centre. And then, after more waiting, with the money trickling in, I'm $5,000 short of being able to afford my fossil centre. And that's when Sue and Mildred become sick. It's only a common cold. I have researched the cure for this, but I don't have a ranger station. So I've got no way of administering the cure. So the choice is keep Sue and Mildred alive, or build a fossil centre and earn pots and pots of cash. Fossil centre it is. Sorry Susan, sorry Mildred, but you are expendable. Well, what did you expect? I'm a heartless evil overlord. It's not an entirely heartless decision, however, because I have some fossils. Turtle fossils, we'll sell those. Iridium, I'm going to sell that. We're going to go ahead and extract the DNA from these Styracosaur and Torosaurus fossils. And we're already back up to over $153,000. Of course, I'm investing that cash straight away into sending more expeditions out, because fossils are the future, which is kind of ironic when you consider that they're fossils. But it does pay off, because as soon as the next expedition comes in, there's my Styracosaur fossil, there's some platinum that I can sell for $380,000. I'm now going to have 75% of the Styracosaur genome, which is another $300,000 from the entertainment division, and I already have enough money to put a ranger station down. Is it going to be in time to save Susan and Mildred, though? It's going to be pretty bloody close, I know that much. And there's the entertainment contract complete.
We're doing the improbable, and you're doing the impossible. Thanks.
Oh, $250,000, not $300,000. Okay, let's get an electrical substation put down here, because the ranger station is going to be no use to anybody without power. We've got the path connected. Connect that up to the electrical grid, and the second that thing's ready to go... Oh, go to fossils? Yeah, why not?
The way folks are talking, seems like you may have made some great discovery. Sounds like a win to me.
And there's another contract complete and another $150,000.
That was some amazing work. You have my thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah, we'll take that
There's
contract.
a new contract that I want you to consider.
Come on, build faster. There, right, ranger station. Go, go, go. Operation Dino Rescue has a green light. Oh, bollocks. There's no gate. Well, shit. Come on, move your asses. We got a couple of sick dinosaurs that need Medicaid. Jeez, they're nearly dead. Screw it, this is so close, I'm going to do it myself.
Asset spotted.
She has actually collapsed. She's comatose. This is how close I was to losing these two dinosaurs.
Medication administered.
Wow. Where's the other one? Okay, Mildred's back on her feet. Hang on, Susan. I'm coming.
ID on the asset.
Don't die on me, Susan. Don't go into the light,
Objective
Susan.
completed.
There we go. Disease outbreak controlled. That was bloody close. But this is how things go on Isla Tacanyo, at least at first. And when I say at first, I mean for the first few hours. Once you've got the fossil centre and the expedition centre up, you can start taking those contracts and selling your surplus fossils, and the money will start coming in. It is a struggle at first, but eventually you will be making more money than you know what to do
I guess
with.
it's true that you never quit. We need more people like you.
Now then, I have a security division contract to release a Diplodocus with the reaction speed modification. And I do like the Diplodocus. It's a pretty impressive looking dinosaur with a relatively high star rating for a herbivore. More importantly, it's really low maintenance. Unlike some of the other herbivores, it's entirely happy being the only Diplodocus in the enclosure. You don't require a massive herd of the buggers. And it just so happens that I now have a viable Diplodocus genome, so I can start incubating them. I was always going to be introducing a Diplodocus or two, possibly even three, into the park in the first place, because, as I said, I like them. But if I can do that while at the same time currying favour with the security division, and earning some extra cash into the process, why the hell not? There it is, the reaction speed modification. All I have to do now is wait until I can actually afford to incubate it, but that ain't going to take too long.
Look, it's a balancing act, I get it, we all do. My point is, you need to provide the right amount of space for your dinosaurs, and this small enclosure ain't cutting it.
Shut up, Owen Grady, nobody likes you anyway, you stink of Velociraptor. Anyway, there it is, one Diplodocus with the reaction speed modification, which should make George Lambert of the security division a very, very happy hedgehog. And me too, because I really like these things. There's just something majestic about them, even if they don't appear to have an arse. What? No, seriously, look at them. They don't have an arsehole. They're just all neck, body and tail. There's no ass.
Science requires not only experimentation, but observation. And with
Oh,
you,
look.
I like what I see. Keep it up.
Where is your arse? What is wrong with
I
you?
knew you were the right person for the job.
Ah well, anyway, there's a $300,000 contract complete for that guy. And we have a Diplodocus. And she is such a majestic creature. I'm going to call her Elizabeth, in honour of the Queen. And with the introduction of Her Royal Majesty into the park, we've gone from $23,000 a minute profit to $83,000 a minute profit. So, Jingles, I realise you're following a biblical naming convention with these Jurassic World videos, but why is this one called Kings? I mean, I know it's the Book of Kings from the Bible, but why that name in particular? Good question, and I was wondering when somebody was going to get around to asking it. For now, I just have to listen to Isaac blather on for a bit and tell me what a great guy I am for releasing an Ankylosaurus with a certain specific genetic modification.
That is a textbook example of doing it right.
Thank you, Isaac, for the $300,000.
I wasn't sure about this one, but you delivered.
And there's the reputation reward.
Love what you do, right? That's the credo of the entertainment division. Show business. And on Isla Tacanyo, you're showing how business gets done. That's worth the reward.
And with that reputation unlocked from the entertainment division, I can now do cheaper research at the research station, which is nice. But anyway, back to the story. Why Kings? Well, you see, here on Isla Tacanyo, this is the first time that you're going to actually get access to fossil beds that contain fossils of a certain dinosaur. And that dinosaur's name, translated from the Latin, means terrible king, hence the title of this video. What dinosaur's this you're talking about, Jingles? That would be this one.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. You and I make a heck of a team.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
The Science Division thanks you. And so do I.
And it is totally worth the trouble. Because that has given our park a 3-star rating, which means we've now unlocked the next island, ISLA Peña. Which is nice.
Oh, this place is Isla Pena. If an island could have attitude, then this little chunk of volcanic rock takes the cake.
Of course, we're not going there just yet. We're going to stay here and 5-star this park first.
Money. It makes the world go round. And it's what makes this next assignment so interesting. I really think you should take a look.
Well, we're going to take this mission because it's going to unlock the gyrosphere station. Oh, that's a very unfortunate goat. Never mind. Plenty more where that one came from. But that's where we're going to leave things for today. But we will be coming back and finishing off Isla TACAND before moving on to ISLA Peña in a future video. In the meantime, have yourselves a great weekend. And as always, take care. And I'll catch you next time.